world's gone ill.
So it has.
20,000 policemen on strike, the whole world in shambles, and no one's willing to maintain some order.
Seems like order is out of fashion.
That hardly means we should all give up.
I'm trying not to.
I see only bad news. All conviction, morality thrown to the wind.
Read past the latest headlines sometime.
I read into the meat of the paper, thank you very much. I've missed your bits of advice.
You know, I worried about you becoming lonely over here.
Me, a lonely sort. I amuse myself well enough with my long strokes.
Such a veneer.
But either I'm not who I used to be, or my home decided to change without letting me know.
The emptiness of the city is startling. I didn't expect to feel so much dread upon my return.
I've never seen you fuss about so much.
Someone's got to maintain the order.
Get off the floor. You'll ruin your
We
dress.
can't live among these mounds of dust.
It's unsuitable for you to behave like a scullery maid.
Then you shouldn't have let the staff go.
But I had no choice, times as they are.
I need to make things pristine, like they used to be.
Nobody can do what she did. Don't exert yourself.
There's nowhere to go, no one to see. I don't know what else to do, I need a distraction.
Lie down. Take a nap.
I'm tired of sleeping my life away.
Then keep me company.
Impossible to sit still with all these thoughts.
That's why I keep the music on.
It's too loud.
Better?
Now it's too quiet.
You're impossible to please.
I miss her. I keep picturing her face, her smile, and I start to cry.
It won't do you good to dwell on the past.
I still expect her to come down the stairs at any moment.
You'll adjust. It took me some time, but I've adapted.
Don't you ache? I ache.
I can't put into words how I feel.
I want to make things agreeable.
Well, I find it all quite agreeable.
For Billy, I mean.
That boy never gave a damn about a few dust mites.
I want him to feel like he's home, whenever that is.
It says here that Greece has entered the war on the side of the Allies.
I've forgotten how he looks.
He'll always have his boyish grin.
The same sandy hair. I miss him more than I can stand.
Maybe it is good for you to keep yourself occupied. That table, for instance, could use a dusting.
Aunt Margaret gave me Mummy's favourite doll from when she was a girl. She looks rather like her, don't you think?
If your mother had one eye.
She even smells like her.
You're too old to be playing with toys, Clara.
Papa, I'm on the verge of being eaten alive by questions.
It won't do good for your nerves to speak in dramatic
I
terms.
can't help how I feel.
You can train your way to tranquility. All it takes is a matter of will.
Will won't help me now.
This pessimistic attitude...
I am haunted.
You've been reading those ghost stories again.
Haunted by questions I never thought to consider. What will become of me?
You will marry, start a family, have a good life.
She's not at my wedding, I don't see the point.
Do it for me. I'd like to see you in your proper place. I'd like grandchildren.
Can't be a mother if I don't have my own one to guide me. Not the hands that first held me know where I feel safe.
The laughter of children will fill the silence.
That's a heavy burden for children.
Clara, you need to look to the future. The worst is behind us. No more illness, no more plight.
Billy will be home soon.
Well, I am here, and you are here. We can make this a house of the living again.
This house is a skeleton.
Where you choose to see absence, I see the possibility of renewal. Otherwise, I'd go mad. That wouldn't do any good now, would it? Not when I have a daughter to bring up and a whole world to repair.
You're going to repair the world, Father? End all the worn heartache?
I can act as if I could.
You're what the psychoanalyst would call...
Clara, not that nonsense again. Told your Aunt Margaret not to fill your head with bunk.
It's a new science. Auntie said it'll save the modern man. She said her doctor helped her.
Doctor of what? Spinning a story from a dream is hardly a science.
Some of the books are quite interesting. The unconscious plays a bigger role in our lives than we might think.
What a silly notion. I am master of my own mind.
Sure you are, Papa, but I don't know if I am.
I've brought you doctor upon doctor. They all say the same thing. Rest. What do you expect me to do?
Seaside did help, really it did. I spent so much time wandering across the sand, breathing in the briny air.
Then I don't see the problem.
There isn't one. The subject is engaging, that is all.
Be careful of interesting subjects.
I didn't know we'd be having visitors.
Would have put on a little perfume, eh?
I don't wear perfume. Archie!
Your father told me you'd be home today.
I had no idea you were back.
He's been keeping me company.
My mother found employment on Primrose Hill, but here it still feels like home to me.
She was my favourite tutor of all. I'm glad to hear she has work.
You're always thinking of others. I hope you thought of me too.
You've touched my mind from time to time. Tell me everything.
I don't know how much you would believe.
My own days in uniform were most formative.
Describe to me your dreams.
Of what?
The battlefield.
The guns blaring, the stink of the fields. I can almost smell the damp and bloodied earth myself.
I thought you didn't even care about dreams, Papa.
I dream of it even when I'm awake. To catch myself before I'm there again altogether.
The tactics have changed since my time.
It's a different kind of war. Unlike any before, we have far more toys to make matters vastly more unpleasant.
Makes my head whirl. How quickly we're hurtling towards our own destruction.
Yes, sir. I beg your pardon. I get dizzy speaking of what I've seen.
Dizzy.
Makes me a little sick, to tell you the truth.
Nothing to be sick about. You should be proud for doing your duty. You're safe now.
Wish my body knew that.
Have you seen Billy?
We parted ways a few months ago.
I see.
She's always fretting, as women do.
If anybody would make it out of this maelstrom unscathed, it would be it.
I want to believe you.
It's true until it's not.
You two act as though you've never been apart.
You're like a brother to me.
Is that all?
You've also been a dear friend.
That's a bit better. I should get back before supper.
I'm glad you stopped by. I'll walk you out.
No, let me. I want to have a word with him man to man.
Yes, sir?
Call me George, boy.
Yes, George. Welcome home, Clara.
Thank you. Come by and see me sometime. I'm always home. Mummy, what am I to do? If he doesn't see a problem, then he doesn't see me. To move on would mean you never existed, and that cannot be. I can't stop hearing the wheeze of your last breaths and thinking of what could have been. You're the one person I want to talk to about how terribly sad I am. If there's the slightest chance you still exist, then free me from this agony. Show me you still care.
Don't do that. You look odd.
It comforts me.
But if you're going to do it, go to your bedroom.
Yes, Papa.
Bloodlust, the absurd.
The bloodiest of lusts.
One night, I caught myself nodding off while standing guard. The whole field was covered in fog. My dream melded with the recent past. I swore I heard an explosion and screamed at the men to prepare themselves. Then my head jolted. I awoke fully, and I was shouting. Everyone around me was scrambling for cover. It had only been a dream.
A dream is never only a dream, especially when it's just standing up.
They laughed at me for the next few days about it. They called me the sleeping sentinel.
Somnambulist.
I love how you insist on using a long word when a short one will do. Stop! I was telling the truth.
I don't believe you. Nobody ever likes my polysyllables.
I do. I'm always learning new words from you. When Billy would bring me over, you were nowhere to be found. He would say, she's inhaling her encyclopedias.
You would ask after me.
Of course. You do have a presence, you know.
You've never been one for literature. You're always the scuff-knees type.
I can't seem to focus much on what's right before me now, much less turn words into images. afraid I've lost that power.
It's not lost. Everything we ever know we were already born with. It only has to be recovered again.
I hope you're right.
Quite often I come close to losing it too. My mind paces, my eyes have been skittering across the page. I'm developing a twitch, see?
I only see loveliness. Enough with all this violence, Clara.
I wasn't seeking a compliment.
I wouldn't have given you one if I thought you were. I don't like women who preen, waiting to be adored.
You're so knowledgeable now. Did the military teach you fighting or flirting, Archie Brooks?
A bit of both. I practiced on the nurses tending to my wounds.
They must have been thrilled.
More amused than thrilled, but better than offended. Have I offended you?
I agree with Dostoevsky. Sometimes feels very good to take offense.
I like making you feel good.
Archie, are you ever afraid of what you're becoming?
Why? Am I becoming a scoundrel?
No, I ask most of all for myself. Something ugly is peering out from inside of me like a beast on its haunches.
Don't understand.
Wish I could explain better. Like now, for instance, I look at the people on their merry way around us. How can they act like the earth has been splitting apart in the most dreadful way?
Thoughts like that don't make you ugly. It's what you do with them.
But I'm full of malice. I want them to feel the pain I feel at every moment. I want to shake them by the shoulders and cry out, "Don't you see you've blinded yourself, the next day it could be you?" I don't do anything at all. One day I very well could, though. Cassandra's fate was the cruelest of them all.
So you can tell the future now too. When did you start feeling this way, Clara? I see. I'm sorry. Your mother was a magnificent woman.
It was worse when I went away. So much more time to think.
Try not to think too much.
I can't seem to switch off my thoughts the way others can.
I want to help you feel better.
Listening's enough. You are enough.
As are you. I hope you know that.
Well, that was another question. But you're very sweet, Archie.
Honey is sweet. Children are sweet. I am neither of those things.
I've seen you be a child.
That child is dead now.
At least you know yourself.
Don't feel like I have a self to know. Make it up every day.
You do have a self because you don't live for others.
Of course I live for others. Gave up the prime of my life to fight for this silly little island.
I don't mean that you haven't sacrificed or you don't care for those you love. But you will not be punished if you choose not to care. You have the option of being wanton. Good daughter's lot in life is to tend to others.
And you are a good daughter.
No pull in my own existence. Sometimes I wish I were born a boy.
Don't say that. Society would collapse without beauty like yours.
Civilizations have fallen because of beauty. I think I make a charming boy anyhow. Kind of boy Socrates would love.
I would keep that close to your heart. Embrace your womanhood. You're a bastion of life.
It's getting late. I need to keep Papa company.
Cassandra's the cruelest minx of all.
Mummy, do you think of me at all? I've given you so much time. Why haven't you shown yourself? I've been told you'll appear to me in dreams, but I don't sleep much anymore. I don't do the things humans are supposed to do. Flecks of light dance at the edge of my vision. Look at me! I'm disappearing. I hate having a body when you don't have a body. Really, I do. You've killed me, Mummy. And left me to drag this carcass around. You've killed me. You've killed me.
Clara, wake up.
I couldn't sleep.
So you sleep on the ground like an animal.
Bored to be bedridden.
I'll tie you to your bed if I must.
So you are a touch sadist, I always suspected.
You used to be such a sweet little girl. I have no idea when you became so perverse.
Don't bother tying me down. I'd chew my restraints threadbare.
You don't even try
Try
to
to what?
make yourself feel better.
That is something I alone am not capable of.
Yet you can chew through ropes like a feral animal.
Animals don't concern themselves with chewiness.
You need air.
Fresh air won't help me when I strain to even take a breath.
You refuse to be helped.
A change of scenery won't do. And what are you doing? Smiling all day, joking like nothing's wrong. Like the rug has been pulled out from under us.
Jokes blunt the pain. You don't think I think of her? At every moment. You don't think I catch myself breathing easily and feel like a sinner for it?
But you can breathe, and you do.
You'd rather I kill myself with sorrow.
It's eerie how you pretend all is well.
Stop stirring things up. I thought you wanted to make things agreeable.
To make it all right. I can make myself better if I really try, but I need... What do I need?
Well, maybe it was too soon for you to return home.
I feel better than I did.
You've changed. Sometimes you don't make any sense, and it frightens me.
What is sense anyway? It never helped me before, and if it's helped you, you're too easily subdued.
Stop putting on airs like you know so much.
I know everything, Papa. I have seen my own mother die, while you...
It wasn't my fault, I didn't know.
Do you know what she said before she took her last breath? Do you? No, only I do.
I was by her side for days at a time.
Then you picked the wrong time to take a stroll. Do you know what she said?
Please, don't.
Take care, darling. Take care of what? Of whom? I think she meant everything, Papa. The way she took care of everything for us. She made it look simple. What are we without her? I can't make us whole.
Try, Clara, you can try.
I have been.
You have the power to take her place if you like.
I don't.
But you called yourself the woman of the house.
I will die if I have to become her. I want my own future, even if it's bleak.
Your future is grand and glorious. You will be a wonderful mother.
I am a child. I've seen death and I am a child.
You are a woman. Start acting like
But I
one.
want my mother. I've been meaning to go to the market, but I've resigned myself to staying home. I'm knitting a scarf for Billy.
You are a good little sister.
Someone's got to keep the corners dusted. Besides, whenever I'm done with my tasks for the day, I spend the rest of my time poring over the tomes in Papa's library. I'm sure he's only read half of every book in there.
And yet he seems to know so much.
He's perfected an air of refinement. Mummy used to call him a master craftsman of good character. Feels good to talk about her.
She was an artist at heart. I could tell immediately just from the way she spoke.
Yes, with such precision.
Graveyards are glutted with the irreplaceable. Sorry.
On the contrary, you're the only one here who dares to be properly morbid. What are we to do?
About what?
All the memories clogging our sanity. I'm not fit for society.
Neither am I then. We can live on the fringes together.
Could we be pagans in the woods?
Throw our clothes into the bonfire.
That sounds appealing.
Very much so.
But I'm not good for you. In fact, I could be very bad for you.
You might be the only one who's any good for me at all.
Mom, if you like. Don't say I didn't give you a fair warning.
There's nothing fair about this morning.
I sat on your lap when we were children, remember?
I couldn't fully, appreciate it at the time. Clara, your father could be back at any moment.
No, he won't be here for some time. We're exquisitely alone.
You're certain?
Quite, you're such a worrywart. Relax.
I'll do my best.
You know, I read so much this summer. My Aunt Margaret is quite the free spirit. Whereas Papa's shelves are stuffed with political texts and histories, hers are filled with erotic poetry.
I see.
I read things you wouldn't believe. For instance, a Viennese doctor said that children are sexual beings. It's called infantile sexuality.
That's disgusting.
I know how it sounds, but if you really read what he says, it makes perfect sense. He wrote that everything is pleasurable to us when we're infants. We have no idea what the sexual even is. Everything is sexual, don't you see? So when I sat on your lap when I was a girl and you were a boy, who's to say what you felt?
You're making me blush.
Had you started masturbating?
Clara!
I was 10 when I started.
Don't speak like that.
forgot not everyone is like me. I used to be squeamish too.
Never thought I'd hear these vulgar terms escape your lips.
My aunt taught me everything. I know all the words now for what's important. I know all there is to do. You must know it too, Archie. Don't deny it. Billy told me about the brothels.
He didn't.
He did. He told me about the first time he was with a woman and you went with him.
Think less of me.
No, of course not. That's what I've been trying to say. It's all perfectly natural.
You were never supposed to know. I told Billy.
You told him to hide this from me.
It wasn't right for him to tell you about these sins. He was polluting your mind.
It's not a sin. Billy didn't want me to be hidden from the world's truths like a nun. I'm still so ashamed.
Can't blame my younger self. Wanted to know what it was like.
In the war, did you?
That was different. All the men were doing it. I won't say that it's respectable, but that was a different realm entirely. We were entitled to a few moments' pleasure.
Tell me what it was like.
We shouldn't be talking about this.
It's just us.
You always want to talk about this.
Always. Can't help it. I bite my tongue from mentioning it at inopportune times.
It's not very becoming.
It bothers you the way I speak.
Somewhat.
I'm still a virgin.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, but I must confess what happened this summer.
I'm not sure I want to hear it.
I need to tell you so I can trust you.
I want you to trust me.
Promise you won't hate me.
I promise.
There was a man who worked on the docks. He would help transport crates from ships coming from far away. I spent my days reading on the pier, and one day we got to talking. He had seen so much, Archie. He had seen the world. I never even left England, and for all I know, the rest of the globe could be a fiction. But he had done it all, and seen it all.
The sea does that to a man.
He was older than you and me.
And he wanted you?
At first, I didn't know what he wanted. We talked for hours. I recited poetry to him, and he told me stories about his mother. She died when he was a boy. I met someone who knew my pain.
Tragic hero. I'm afraid I know what happens next.
It was a moment of wonder. One night, I slipped away and met him on the beach. He kissed me and pressed himself against me. I let him gladly. I liked going with him. Without even being asked, without knowing what I was doing, I unbuckled his trousers and that... I didn't know what came over me. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to consume him. I liked the way he held my head and moaned.
You worry me.
Don't please worry for Carr. Let's give ourselves over to ourselves. Like you said, aren't we entitled to some pleasure?
Could hurt you.
Oh no. It's like I said. I could be very bad for you.
I didn't expect you here at such an odd hour.
I was chatting with Clara.
Yes, we were having the best discussion, Papa.
You're wearing less than nothing.
I was about to go to bed. Right, Archie?
Nothing happened. I promise. I would never do anything.
Clara, this is highly improper of you. She hasn't been well since her fever.
Fever?
Papa's exaggerating. Everyone gets bedridden for a week or so.
I didn't know you were unwell.
You're embarrassing the poor boy.
I'm not embarrassed. I promise, George.
That's served to you.
Yes, sir.
Archie, it's best you leave so I can handle this.
Yes, sir. That sounds wise. But please be gentle with her.
Not even if it's goodbye, my dear.
I didn't know I had Lady Godiva for a daughter.
I have always wanted a horse.
First, you're sick with self-pity, and now you flaunt around your bare skin. I don't understand the part you're playing.
I'm not playing. You and I both know Archie is hopelessly in love with me.
That doesn't give you permission to behave like a harlot.
Hardly. That takes practice.
He seduced you.
You give him an awful lot of credit.
I'd rather him than you.
He's a good boy.
That's all he is. A boy.
You don't need to be so concerned, like he said, nothing happened.
Your lips are red.
Would you be so upset if he had caressed me? That it'd be like your friend?
I don't want you to be in his company alone.
Come off it, Papa.
There are rules, Clara, you know this.
I've forgotten them.
You're right from all your eyes yourself!
Can't control me like this!
I certainly can!
Maybe Archie's right. Maybe I am horribly confused.
You are.
He'd be surprisingly insightful when he's not jittery with nerves. Even so, maybe I prefer being confused.
Mother would be horrified by your flagrant displays.
Mummy had passion. She had access to a secret kind of knowledge. When did you stop loving her for it?
I thought you were done torturing me.
Send me away, Papa. Lock me in a spare room.
Very well could.
Tell all your friends this time I'm away at finishing school.
It would come to that.
Billy and I would play this game rushing through darkened hallways. Whoever was last to make it to the bedroom would be locked out, left to be eaten by the monsters lurking in the corners. He always won. He was so quick and so eager to slam the door in my face. He couldn't bear the notion of losing, even if it meant me crying something against the door. I often dream of the hand hovering just at my back, so close that I can feel its heat but not its skin. I love my brother, but he takes a perverse thrill in hurting helpless things. He once made me end a wounded bird's life.
How?
By crushing it under my heel. I wept for days.
Put it out of its misery.
That's what he said, but it would have died anyway. And now I can still hear the crunch of its little bones.
How did he make you do this?
He instructed me to.
And you always did what he told you to do?
He is a leader. I would see him do the same thing to his friends, preside upon them. He is so assured, it's impossible to refuse him. He knows this. Mummy spoiled him rotten. She could never really cope with his going away. It fatigued her, the worry made her vulnerable to the elements. She thought he was doomed. How much of speaking with you is letting you in on what you've missed?
When you meet someone new, do you not wish to know all that came before?
I don't meet many new people.
You've described a vibrant social life in the past,
I can play the game.
but you're bored of it.
It's also exhausting.
Some are invigorated by being with others.
Yes, like my mother. She loved parties.
You find them draining.
I've never been good at keeping talk light. I tried to imitate her, but it was no use. She made every guest feel like royalty. Not like her, I don't bloom, I curl inward.
It must have been difficult for you, that comparison.
I tried to change, I really did.
A magnolia cannot become an orchid. We cannot alter our deepest natures.
I seem to inspire strong reactions within other people. I'm either overlooked or overcomplicated. I have spent so much time explaining myself only for those explanations to soon be forgotten.
Do you think I'll forget?
Yes, you have so many other patients.
That matters to you.
Wish I could have your fullest attention.
You have it now.
It's temporary. It'll never be enough.
You're hungry.
I'm ravenous. It feels so good to be listened to.
How does this need express itself in your other relationships?
What are you getting at?
In romantic relationships, perhaps?
Romance is a tool.
For what?
Getting attention. I know I sound cynical.
Refrain from judging yourself.
I've always seen how men take what they want, and I've envied it. A man first kissed me when I was 13.
A man? Miss Clara.
One of Papa's friends, Mr. Franklin. His business partner, briefly. Our families would often roam around the countryside together during the summers. He had 2 children, a girl and a boy. He liked to take me on walks alone, lecturing me on matters of the universe, physics, he said. He was the first person to point out to me the order of the planets in the night sky. Billy seemed suspicious of him, said he might have fancied me. I didn't believe him, but in bed I'd feel a shiver of excitement. All these women here, if this man should take a liking to me. I was too young to understand. I wasn't surprised when he cupped my face in his palms, when he pulled me in for a kiss, when he touched me between my legs. That was my first anything.
How does it make you feel to talk about this?
It burns.
How long did you keep this to yourself?
I told my father straight away.
What happened?
He said, next time don't let yourself be alone with him. They remained in business together for 2 more years.
There's much to explore here.
Could have been worse, I suppose.
No use measuring experience like that.
I've kept this in for so long I thought I would explode. I didn't know I felt that way.
It's good to talk.
It is.
We should pause for now.
No,
But I will be back at the same time next week.
I like hearing that.
Thank you for your openness with me.
I presume everything discussed between us will remain.
Clandestine. You don't have to say that every time.
Can't help it.
Everything is very much between you and me.
Done for the day?
Yes, Mr. Collins.
When?
It was an illuminating session.
Where is she?
She just slipped outside.
Not wise to let her roam free every time.
If you would like her to have a chaperone, that is up to you.
You refuse to tell me anything of substance. I don't know what I'm paying for.
My profession depends on me being a bit tight-lipped. My apologies, Mr. Collins.
Fortunately, it's no profession of mine.
One more thing, Mr. Collins, and then I will take my leave.
Yes?
What was she like as a child? I mean, before she could even speak.
Interesting question.
The earliest years matter more than any of us can imagine.
An overemphasis, if you ask me. I certainly remember nothing of my childhood.
Surely you remember hers, though.
Of course. She was quiet.
Yes.
I'm not your patient.
I'm simply curious about the father's memories of his daughter.
She was so quiet. A look of wonder splashed across her face. All infants must be awestruck upon meeting the world. But her eyes got from the moment of birth and never stopped.
Sense of knowing.
Or something like that. Yes, she really was a splendid child, no problem at all. A blessing compared to her brother at that age. He was the boisterous one, so difficult to keep track of. But Clara, the problems only arose when she got a little older, 3 or 4. She would wake up screaming and could not be comforted. The whole thing gave her mother bloodshot eyes for a year or 2. I'd forgotten that.
Right, then you reminded me of her.
Did I?
The way your eyes darted around as you sifted through memories. I've grown accustomed to searching upwards glances.
I never realized she did that.
You should pay closer attention, Mr. Collins. God hides in the crevices.
Good night, Dr. Weiss.
I will see you next week.
God hides in the crevices.
Wait, please. I was going to pretend this is a coincidence, but it's not. I've come here every day for 3 days hoping you'd show up.
That's a ridiculous thing to do.
I was getting desperate. You never come over anymore.
That's not my fault. Your father wants to hang me.
We could have gotten together elsewhere.
I've been trying to become a functioning member of society again.
And do you think I'm being ridiculous?
It doesn't matter what I think.
We don't have to be friends, but I want to apologise for what I did. It's a bad state of mind. I want to make you happy. It wouldn't feel good for you.
You knew your father would be home.
Yes.
So you wanted to humiliate me?
Don't pay him so much mind.
He's been nothing but generous to me.
I didn't want to embarrass you. You just showed me that selling me off.
What's selling?
You know he wants us to marry. He always has. I just wanted you, very certain man. So I acted on it, and I didn't care who knew. We shouldn't always be suppressing our most fervent desires. I don't want to be a pawn, I want to be a knight.
I hate chess. It makes you feel stupid.
You liked what I did. Made you feel good.
Too good. You scare me.
I scare you.
Your intensity, your hunger.
You don't have to run away from what scares you.
You act like you know everything. You don't really know what you insist you do.
I'm not the little girl I was before. I've been getting better, aren't you?
On your way to sanity.
I don't want to scare you anymore. I want you to see me for who I am. I desire you for it.
You have no idea how long I've wanted you.
I do.
But it has to be on my terms.
But I can't have you leaving me.
Say you will do what I say.
I will do what you say.
Say you will be a new woman for me.
I will be a new woman for you.
I like hearing you follow my orders. Makes me feel like a king.
So you do like chess.
Hush up.
I feel safe with you.
Say that again.
I feel safe with you. Don't tell Papa, not yet.
Why not?
I don't want to give him the satisfaction.
This constant tug of war. Nothing is ever simple.
The time will be right soon.
You hide so much, it's second nature. But you tell me more than you tell him.
You of all people should know the power of retreat, aren't you, Brooks? I love being wanted.
Can you or do you not want to?
Men are rather silly when it comes down to it. They think telling a girl where to go and what to do will solve all their problems.
Which problems?
Impotence. Don't understand it. You don't enjoy feeling out of control. Yet I want Archie to think he can control me. Let him entertain illusions. Be a well-behaved girl again if I tried it for years.
Do you want to be one again?
Want to show myself I can. There's no place in this world for a lunatic woman, Doctor. You must know this. Mummy reined herself in and made everyone happy. Why shouldn't I?
Too much restraint can hurt.
And not enough can kill.
It's the way you're speaking. What are you planning?
I never have a plan.
You said you like to prepare.
Being prepared and having a plan are not one and the same. Being prepared means bracing yourself. Be far better off if I did have a plan. I don't have faith in a future anymore.
You have nothing to look forward to.
All I see is a void. Before you came along, I spoke to Mummy the way I speak to you. She couldn't respond, but I really, truly felt her.
That happens to those in mourning. The love you feel coalesces into a kind of energy.
You're rationalizing the importance away. I felt her. She came to me when I was passed out in a fever.
William James wrote in his Varieties of Religious Experience that fever can induce a sensation.
Stop! I don't want theory.
I only meant that profound experience, no matter the source, has the power to change our perceptions as though they were real.
Starting to think that it's not that I don't have a mother, it's that I have different variations of one. She's expanded into the ether. I feel her warmth and it's unmistakable. The mother within me making herself known. Sometimes I just want to be alone with her.
So you can keep getting to know her.
There was so much I was waiting for her to tell me.
Your relationship will not stop growing. I have my own mother within me, and I learn more about her by listening to myself.
You lost your mother.
When I was a boy.
Surprised you told me.
I can't always be a blank slate.
Does it ever get easier?
No. But the regular horrors of life loosen their grip, and you will come to feel more capable to guide yourself.
My life is still in shambles.
Your mother would not be able to pick up the pieces for you.
Sometimes it occurs to me that I'm younger than everyone around me when I feel so much older than them. That's what Archie didn't like about me. That I acted so experienced, like I could teach him secrets. I want to teach him new things, but he doesn't want to learn. Not from me.
What kind of things do you want to teach you?
How to savor a few moments of joy. The only bliss we have,
The joy you give him?
if I can.
Do you love him?
I'm fixated on him.
You want to keep him within your sight?
I want him to think about me when I'm not there. Is that something like love?
I'll let you decide that for yourself. But what times he's not around you?
I don't know how fit for this world I am. I want to be alone most of the time.
Your own world is sufficient?
Is there a place for a girl who lives in her head?
Yes, there are places, but the goal is to integrate you into the world.
But it doesn't deserve me. Papa!
I heard nothing.
Couldn't you have waited?
This room is the great connector of the house.
We're about done anyway.
Did you have a productive time?
You know I prefer not to talk about it.
You're becoming closed off.
I'm protecting my privacy.
I'm the one paying for these sessions.
I already feel guilty enough. Why do you do this to me?
Some progress she's making. She used to be far more demure.
She's feeling out her frustration rather than tamping it down.
Anything more you could tell me?
Not much.
Aren't I entitled to a little knowledge?
This isn't a marketplace.
It's my money. You provide a service.
Don't play this game with me, Mr. Collins. It is impolite, and I know you are not an impolite man.
That's a grand claim to make.
All I can say is talk to her.
I do. I suppose there's nothing more you can provide my daughter and me anymore.
This is a very sensitive process. If it is interrupted in an untimely manner, the results could be devastating.
We're used to devastation around here.
She has been spending time with the boy.
She told me she wasn't seeing him anymore.
That is all I will say. You have quite a way of making a man feel small.
How do you think I own such a large house?
Be discreet. She's perceptive.
Riveting diagnosis.
Goodbye, Mr. Collins.
Mummy, I never told you enough how much I love you. One can never count on there being more time. I'm growing up so fast, it's frightening. When does a girl know she's a woman? Her first blood, her first child? I long for the truths you're waiting to tell me. You shouldn't have been so cautious. I've been ready for the truth my entire life. I knew you, but you didn't know me. There was so much I wanted to teach you too. I could have enlightened you if you had let me. It's so unfair. So unfair. When Billy's back, I'm going to give him a hug for the both of us. I'm busy. I said I'm busy.
I need to talk to you.
You never let me be.
It's not... What are you wearing?
Do you like it?
Where did you find that?
In the chest at the foot of your bed.
Why were you sneaking around in there?
You have no use for her dresses.
I
I'm
don't...
afraid I find.
I don't like you prying into my private spaces without my approval.
I look ready for summer. Too bad it's getting colder.
You seem to be in good spirits.
More of a momentary reprieve, and absence of pain might as well be contentment.
Are you satisfied with the progress of your treatment?
You mean, are you getting your money's worth?
You're being crass.
I like it so far. Helps have someone to talk to.
You can talk to me.
You'd be appalled by the thoughts I could repressed.
And Archie?
What about him?
You don't feel like you could tell him these things.
I thought you were through trying to push us together.
And I thought you were through with him entirely.
Why wouldn't I be?
Not aware of the current course of your affairs.
It was none of your place to be aware until you took it upon yourself.
You're my daughter, my responsibility. Your future depends on what I approve of. I suggest accepting my interest.
You never cared about any of this when Mr. Franklin pursued me.
Why bring him into this?
Don't pretend you've forgotten. It hurts too much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The way he would look at me. I can't believe you don't remember. I told you what he did.
You shouldn't speak ill of the dead, Clara.
He died.
2 years ago, in his sleep.
You never told me.
But I didn't think you gave him any thought.
You really don't remember.
The past doesn't matter.
You let him touch me.
No.
And you did nothing.
You're making up an explanation for why you are the way you are.
No, I never forgot it.
Why didn't you tell your mother then?
I did. All she could do was
Well,
cry.
she would have told me.
Would she?
She told me everything about you.
Everything.
She didn't belong only to you.
I trusted her.
She betrayed us both.
That's not true.
She was my wife before she was your mother.
I disagree.
It's a fact.
She was always my mother first.
You have no idea about how life really works.
It's not my fault I've been kept hidden from anything real.
You're ungrateful.
I don't mean to be.
I give you all I have. I have a soul too, in case you've forgotten.
Of course I haven't.
And it affects me. How much you take and take. I mean, siphoning me.
I don't know what else to do. I don't want to hurt you.
You could start by being kind.
I know I've been difficult to talk to. We haven't really spoken about it, not like we should.
Where could we even begin, Clara? This was never how it was meant to be.
You told me to accept what is.
I thought I had.
So did I. Even the first few days after she was gone, I thought to myself, it's not so horrible. I can get used to this eternal sinking feeling until it feels almost like nothing. But I couldn't. You remember the shrieking at night, the wails. Feeling even a little pleasant seemed like a trick after a while. Never lasted. Do you understand me?
There's no end in sight with you, is there?
How do you mean?
You'll never be like anyone else.
I can't be any other way.
I hoped that one day you would grow out of your quirks.
Why am I not enough the way that I am?
You always willfully misinterpret me.
I want to be honest with you.
Your honesty isn't such a gift.
It's all I have. Please listen to me.
You'll get no more sessions with the doctor.
No.
I don't like what he's bringing out in you.
Don't do this. There are other ways to show you care. It's no good. Trying to be good.
Your dress!
Change of colour lifts my mood.
Were you feeling low?
It's nothing. How How do you mean?
I got a job to
Congratulations.
start next month.
Will you be able to manage?
Of course. Got a nice train packed by today. I'll be better than I ever was.
I'm very proud.
Soon I'll be able to provide for you.
Don't need to worry about that. Papa has more than enough of the outside pauper.
You don't want to rely on your father your whole life, do you?
I don't have many options. If you want him, it would be you. Mummy never earned her own keep, how could I?
You'd be happier to rely on me.
It would help me feel free.
Don't think I would?
For the first few years, maybe. The change in master would be a relief. But then you'd become agitated. You won't always like what I spend your money on. You'll lord it over me and you'll start to like the power.
I wouldn't do that to you.
It's inevitable. By the end, you'll be just like my father.
I won't. I'm not like him. I'm not him.
If you say so.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been dreaming of being with you fully. I'm serious. Now that we're together properly, I want it to be me, not anyone else. Please.
You want the honor of possessing me.
No, it's not about honor. I want you.
Are you sure?
Now you're concerned? Of course I'm sure. I want nothing more.
You might hurt me.
I'll be gentle.
You can go behind the trees.
You're a heathen.
I simply hate to wait.
Thank you again for coming on such short notice.
Where is Miss Clara?
This isn't about her. Well, it is, but it isn't.
I'm sensing some ambivalence.
I want to know how all this works.
All this.
Your process. Your science.
It's simple, Mr. Collins. We talk.
That can't be it. For all the fuss.
A patient must not censor himself. He lets words flow whether they make sense or not. It's harder than you might think.
So, it's a time set aside for babbling nonsense.
It's power in nonsense. When was the last time in your adult life that you let yourself babble without the fear of ridicule?
I can't recall.
You distrust my profession. That I know. You don't understand your daughter's place in my care, and you are not the first. Have you been unhappy with her progress?
What progress? She's become even more flippant.
I never promised obedience, Mr. Collins. The clashing in society is an integral stage of development.
I never spoke to my father the way she speaks to me.
Would you like to talk more about your father?
Of course not.
In this practice, a strident no is the most reliable pathway to a yes.
So I had no choice.
You have total autonomy. When I asked you about Clara as a child, you surrendered yourself to memory.
But I can't do that again, no.
I believe you can. We all can. Tell me about your father.
He started in the Becks, did all he could to give my mother and me a good life. He was strict, certainly. I couldn't get away with a vest unbuttoned under his watch. But he never stopped being my godhead.
And when did he die?
The year after I married Edith. A swift decline. But it's not as though I don't understand Clara's loss. I feel her pain to my core. But if I went on the way she did, I would have sullied his memory, everything he raised me to be.
And Edith?
Well, I knew her since she was a girl. Our families had been friends for ages. She'd walk outside in the rain, I would run to her side with an umbrella. Then she would laugh at me and step in a puddle just to spite me. She loved to sing, though she had no interest in learning how to. She hosted marvelous parties and retired when she felt like it, leaving the guests to wonder where she went off to. Her hair was auburn. She had a birthmark on her right cheekbone. She insisted it was ugly, but I always called it a beauty mark. Can't believe she's gone. I haven't said that until now.
The strange power of Babel.
I lost her. It's not as though she simply died. I had a hold on the one woman I've ever loved. I let go, and now she's gone.
What do you mean you let go?
When she first started coughing up blood, I was horrified. As she declined, I backed away. It hurt to see her sallow face, once so flushed with joy. I got her the care she needed, and then I distanced myself. I held her hand, but not all through the night. I slept when I needed to. I wasn't there for her last breath. Why am I telling you any of this?
Your pain has gone underground and taken root. You have been enduring the unendurable.
I hope Clara hasn't made me out to be some brute.
You already pulled too much out of me earlier, but you don't need to doubt your daughter's love.
You're a good man.
As are you.
Oh, I'm a liar. To myself, most of all.
Most of us are.
But I never spent a penny that would really help someone else.
You have spent many on her.
Well, I suppose I have. But only in restitution.
Me too. In a peaceful way. Having spent all my energy, nothing can disturb my bliss. Must be what opium feels like.
Let's smoke some.
You're silly.
It sucked me first and now sucks thee. And in this flea our two bloods mingle through.
Excuse me? What flea?
It's from a poem. Archie, you're strutting about like a libertine.
I am a libertine. I'm the Marquis de Sade, Peter the Great, in the flesh.
This must be why it's called Le Petit Mot.
Don't sully my good mood.
You're only in a good mood because you've sullied me.
But you didn't bleed.
Is that disappointing? Less mess? Come, let's go home before the rain hits.
Why didn't you bleed?
Stop this! Not all women bleed after their first time. Doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Did you want it to hurt me especially?
I just need to know that you're truly, totally pure.
That matters so much to you.
So that I can marry you. I hate that mocking laugh. I'm speaking the truth.
I gave you my body, not my hand in marriage. When did you think?
The way you were speaking about the future, I thought that meant...
It's all fantasizing. I meant that I wanted to keep going behind the trees with you, exploring each other. I didn't mean...
Damn it! I knew I shouldn't have let you seduce me again. I wouldn't have defiled you if I'd known.
You didn't defile me.
No?
It was the man on the docks. We did everything. Not just what I did to you before, everything.
Should have known. It's far too easy to get into you.
You act like such a gentleman. It took no effort to tear you down and see you for what you really are. You don't even know how to bed a woman unless you pay her.
Then that would make you a whore.
Ah!
I'm sorry, I didn't...
Look! You made me bleed. Now do you feel like a man?
You're ruined. Nobody will have you now.
I don't need anyone. I have...
Really? Your savior? You can't be this naive. Open your eyes, Clara. He's dead. He's dead. He's been dead for months.
What happened?
A bullet.
And where were you? Where were you?
I held him as he took his last breath.
You could have saved him.
You weren't there.
I know you could have. I can see you now ducking under the fire,
You
watching my
don't
brother become a
understand
body.
what it was like.
He's There's nothing more you can do to me. You've killed the only one I had left.
I did my duty. I didn't run.
But you froze.
There was no time.
You're a coward. I shouldn't be surprised. That's what a coward does after all.
Fuck you.
Wait, you can't leave me like this.
Get off me!
You have to tell me the truth.
I am!
I can't bear it.
Ask your bloody father.
Thank you for your time. Is there someone you know who could...
Many would be eager to work with you.
I don't change my mind about matters often.
Of that I'm sure.
You have a gift.
Don't we all?
My God, Clara! You look dreadful!
What are you doing here?
Your father wanted to have a word with
What
me?
was the topic this time? My health, my character?
Something else.
I know how you two love to gossip about me.
No, Miss Clara.
I can't trust you.
Clara, I'll help you. Please, you just...
I don't need either of you anymore.
I'm not leaving until I know what's happened
This
to
is a
you.
family matter, Doctor.
Bleeding!
I thought you hated public spectacles, but you insist on making this public.
Please.
You're a liar and a tyrant.
I know I've been callous, but will you please...
How long has Billy been dead?
3 months.
When I was away,
Yes.
you didn't tell me.
I couldn't pile on more grief. I knew that when you found out you would do something drastic, and I couldn't bear delusion too.
You were never going to tell me.
I was in a month or two when you could handle it.
My father loves to put on different faces. He's a one-man masquerade ball.
He means well.
So he's gotten you on his side. How dare you lie to me? I know now how much stronger I am than you and how much that scares you.
Calm yourself.
I will not! This entire time I've been going on like a fool about when Billy will come home. How nice it'll be for Billy and you and Archie stood by and watched me and thought that poor fragile child. Let's keep her in delusion. She'll clean more that way.
Was it like that?
This house could rot for all I care. There's no home of mine.
You shouldn't give up just
Shut
because...
up! You're just as guilty as him. If this is hell, just tell me.
Clara, please be careful.
I'm sorry to be careful.
You are regressing to an infantile state.
I'm bored. Give it back. Mummy! We have nothing left!
It's only a doll.
Everyone is dead! You'd be kinder to shoot me than let me go on like this. I thought you knew me. I thought you saw me. Was it all a ruse?
Let go of me!
Can't be lied to. You're all I have left.
You're having a hysterical fit!
I'm not.
Keep your emotions under control.
You never really cared about me.
I do. This is for your own good.
You're a bastard.
Clara, what's your tongue?
You no longer hold any sway with me. Neither of you do.
Your father and I are not your enemies.
All we want is for you to be well.
I prefer to remain sick.
I will send you to Bedlam if that's what it takes.
Don't speak like that. It will only upset her more.
Actually, my only desire is only to like her more.
Don't know what you're saying. She doesn't know what she's saying.
I do. Anywhere would be better than here.
That's really what you want.
I wouldn't care if I ever saw the sun again.
You don't need that.
You don't know. You don't know anything.
This is our only choice.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I did everything wrong.
Even now I want to soothe you. I want to tell you there was nothing you could have done differently.
If you don't mean it, don't say it.
Take me away.
Her stay can be temporary.
She will never understand the depth of my love.
War is over, Mummy. The nurses told us over a breakfast of robbery eggs. The room was quiet. I thought when this day would come, you and Papa and I would greet Billy with flags waving. None of us made it out alive. The last letter I received from Papa, his handwriting, usually so bold and clear, had become thin and wiry, unsure of itself. Imagine him smoking cigar after cigar until the parlour is clouded with smoke, like mustard gas. There are no gramophones here, but I play tunes in my head and dance with someone I adore in my arms. Oftentimes it's you. I know you better than I ever have. And I